Okay, so we're going to talk about the nitrogen cycle. And the nitrogen cycle is just how we, just how we cycle nitrogen through the atmosphere. Okay, and nitrogen is a fairly large component of our atmosphere. 78% of our atmosphere is nitrogen. So atmospheric nitrogen is actually in an unusable form, and I don't know if you remember in class I talked about it being broken. Okay, so this nitrogen that's up in the atmosphere is unusable, and what we want to do is we want to make it usable, and there's a couple of ways to make nitrogen usable, and we call it fixing nitrogen. So in order to fix nitrogen, to make it usable, there are three ways to do it. The first way is with nitrogen fixing bacteria. Okay, so there's nitrogen in the atmosphere, and let's say this is the ground, and there's these bacteria in the ground. And the nitrogen, because it's in the atmosphere, the bacteria can access it because the atmosphere encompasses like all above the ground. So they take in this nitrogen and they use it, and in turn into the soil they put fixed nitrogen compounds, and those nitrogen compounds can then be used by organisms. So they take the unusable nitrogen and they fix it, and that's through a metabolic process where they use the nitrogen. The second way that we can fix nitrogen is through lightning. Oh, sorry, I'm having trouble with my pen here. Lightning. And lightning, actually, when it strikes nitrogen in the atmosphere, it actually breaks it and it combines with oxygen, and we get usable compounds. So lightning is the second way. And then the third way that we can fix nitrogen is with legumes. And legumes are in the root, the underground portion of certain plants. Peanuts are a great example of legumes. Soybeans and lentils. And what they have is these nodules on their roots, and those nodules actually sort of do the same thing as the bacteria. They take in the nitrogen, the unfixed nitrogen, and they turn it into something that can be used. So George Washington Carver, if you guys remember, he was the guy that understood how peanuts were so crucial to our farming, our agriculture industry, because he talked about crop rotation. So if you plant crops, you can leach the soil, which led to the big dust bowl. But then he said if you plant legumes every couple of years, you rotate your crops, you can actually replenish the soil, because these nodules on legumes actually take the unusable nitrogen and put it back in the nitrogen, so that the soil is much more usable.